Welcome, everyone, to episode 54 of If Lambs Could Kill. I have a little bit different voice today for being Knifecity.
Yeah, Knifecity, you have changed a lot,
a
actually.
little bit, yeah. So we're down a guy. But we got a couple of people left, huh? So, I guess I'm Hot Sauce. Is that weird?
That's kind of weird.
It is kind of strange.
Yeah, I'm Hot Sauce.
And this is Ryke.
Samhain Crow.
This is also Hot Sauce.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I said it's way too
You gotta
different
finish it
to finish. That didn't feel right.
This is also Hot Sauce. So here we are, down a guy. Knifecity is insanely sick. He has like AIDS has nothing on this.
Full blown AIDS from sucking all kinds of dudes' dicks down in Hillcrest. Pretty much.
I suppose not to pick up those used needles and use it, but yeah. Fuck it.
Oh, free needles!
Yeah, I love free needles.
Sick. Yeah, he is like out both ends. He is like fever. Like he had 103.7. He said.
Yeah.
Which is like I was saying, that's like falling into a coma type shit. If it's sustained for too long, I mean it's insane. So
I guess the fever is down. He's been like this fucking sick for over a week now.
yeah, over a week, and he's like recovering, and he's like on the up, but he's still like he said he started eating solid foods yesterday. It's like, oh my god. So yeah, he's not casting with us. But how the fuck have you guys been?
Been fucking good. We went to see, what was it, Thursday night? We fucking saw the Foo Fighters in concert.
Yeah, that was insane.
At the, what is it called? The Sleep Train Amphitheater now?
Yeah.
Down in San Diego here. So they're in town. And that concert was fucking rocking.
Yeah, I mean I would imagine that before going there, I'm like, this has got to be one of the best shows of all time. I feel like Dave Grohl has like the energy level of what made all these bands like in the past so great, like like Van Halen with David Lee Roth with his energy level and going all over the stage and all that shit. I feel like Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters would be that of today, where we're gonna think 20 years back or 20 years in the future, going like Foo Fighters like one of the best shows of all time. That what he was doing was perfect. So.
It's so funny because he has, like, how old is he now? He's at like 40 something?
I think he's early 40s. Yeah.
Early 40s still, but he has so much energy still, and I guess he broke his leg or something like that.
Ask, is he out of the cast now?
No, he was still in the cast, but he had this fucking wheel, like this chair that would he'd move on the stage, like, it was, I don't know if they had a remote control, but he was able to just sit down the whole time.
It's like a Segway little thing.
Yeah, like a Segway thing, but it was so fucking bad, like just having all the energy, not even like with a broken leg, not be able to jump around the stage, just sitting in a chair pretty much the whole show. He had so much fucking energy.
Yeah, he got the crowd going. He motherfucker screams to the crowd, and the crowd goes wild.
But yeah,
it was awesome.
They fucking played all their good songs.
They started with Everlong.
Yeah,
which is like Everlong is basically my favorite song of all time by any artist. I'm not gonna say Foo Fighters is my favorite band. It's not. Not even probably maybe top 10, maybe top 15. But that song is just like perfect. Some of those songs it feels good when you listen to it, and that's one of those songs. So yeah, it was great. I got way too drunk.
Oh, Hot Sauce was fucking belligerent.
That's part of my intro. Because we were drinking in the park. We showed up early in the parking lot. We all had like chairs. My mom was with us. My mom and like one of her old neighbors and like her neighbor's boyfriend. And then it was like me and Ryke and my buddy Kyle, our buddy Kyle, and then like his girlfriend. I brought a friend, and so like we had a group of 8 people.
Yeah, it was a good amount of people.
So we were all just like drinking it up. We had some like vodka and I had some like blood orange mixer for the vodka or whatever. And I put down like 3/4 of the bottle of vodka. But we're just sitting down, so once again you don't like feel it that much. I'm like, man, I'm not even like I have a little bit of a buzz, but man, I drink so much already. And then we go in and I buy a beer, and like while I'm holding the beer, I'm like, oh shit, now I'm fucking drunk. Okay, here we go. And so anyways, we're hanging out, waiting for the opening act to stop. I don't remember who it was. What was the name?
We didn't even show up for the opening act.
I know the opening act
had ended right when we actually got
opening act was. I don't remember who it was, but I know that they're a good performer, and like for the music they make, it's very, very good. It's just not very like popular nowadays. I'm pretty sure that's what I feel. Something like that. It's not very popular, but I think that it's still a really good band.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up, but that concert was awesome. Like my wife and I didn't end up showing until like just before. Maybe like 15.
Yeah, you guys got there right on time.
They actually, Foo Fighters actually came on stage because we just I was waiting for my wife to get off work. She didn't get off work till late, and of course Hot Sauce tells me okay, yeah, you can go. There's a back way to get to this amphitheater. It's way faster, so I take that back way, and it is a lot faster. There's not as much traffic. There's still traffic, but it's not as much. And my dumb ass is like, oh no, I have everyone's trying to turn into the amphitheater. Like, there's a big line, and everyone's turning into, one of the driveways. I was like, oh, no, there's, 2 more driveways down the way. I can just bypass these guys and go the other driveway. Yeah, no, it doesn't work out like that. No. So I had to go all the way because it's like a 4-lane road, and they block it off so you can only go kind of one way. And so I had to go all the way past the the actual like
main entrance
line and fucking make a U-turn and sit in the main entrance line.
So like I'm guessing the line of people getting into it was like maybe like 20 to 30 cars on the back way.
Like on the back way, it was like maybe like 30, 40 cars or something like that. The other way was like 100 plus.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You try to miss that, and then he didn't. So
I'm like, I fucking just screwed myself. So I had to go all the way fucking past all these guys waiting in line. But luckily, it didn't take long. It only took like another 15 minutes to get in. But I was like, oh my god, I felt like such an idiot. I'm like, oh, I thought I could fucking just turn into the next one and just get in line down there. Nope, doesn't work that way. They have it all blocked off.
You still got there just in time. You just didn't get to hang out and drink with us.
Yeah, I didn't get the fucking pregame, which is, it's okay. But yeah, $13 beers, I love it. I love it.
$16 beers.
$16 for fucking, craft beer.
It was for a premium, it was, let's see here. It was Karl Strauss, and it was $16 for like, I think it was like a 20 or 24 ounce beer. It was a big beer. But still, I've never, no matter where I've gone, no matter what amusement park or any of that shit, has it ever been $16 for a beer. That was insane. I bought one for me and my buddy, so it's 30, he said 32, I'm like,
nah, you're fucking me, right?
72? What'd you say? Like, you just said some number I don't understand for beers.
Astronomical now.
And,
like Bud Lights were like what? $12 still.
Yeah, Bud Light for a tall can.
Yeah, big boy can.
I was like, this is fucking insane. So we went out and I was in the grass and, Brent Ryke was in the grass too.
Yeah.
And, we were all partying it up and then I went and bought 2 more beers while I was up there. So I called in sick on Friday. I woke up Friday morning and I was like, no way. So I slept till like 1 p.m. Friday.
I wish I could have called in on Friday.
Yeah, I was drinking too much.
Luckily, we left, my wife and I left a little early just to beat the traffic out of there because we had like, my wife was already just dead tired, let alone just like having fucking rocking out at the concert too. But that was fucking amazing concert. This last weekend I actually got to my mom's place. We actually cleaned up the garage and I took out a bunch of boxes. I found like all these old pictures of like myself and my dad when I was like a baby and shit. Like, so I have all these cool pictures now.
That's pretty dope, yeah.
Which like we're just stuck in a box for like 20 years or whatever. So like we found some like shit. Like my mom's kind of like a borderline hoarder where she takes things, like she'll take stuff from people thinking that she could give it to somebody else. Like, oh no, so-and-so could use this. And it just ends up sitting in a box or like sitting in the garage for like 20 years.
She's not, when you say the hoarder thing, like, you don't picture their house being messy because their house is not messy. But like but she still has a lot of stuff like in the garage.
There's just like a lot of things that just
and they have you have a lot
never going to be used.
You have a big property.
Yeah, we have a huge property.
So it means like they have ample place to put everything. But when I think hoarders, I have a friend that their parents is like, the real hoarders, and where they have like boxes in their fucking hallway. Mm-hmm. And like they have a full living room that is not a living room, it's a storage area for boxes and just shit.
Old newspapers.
That's like real, like,
that's my aunt.
That's the dangerous shit.
10 blenders.
So like we actually have a true to God hoarder in our family. My aunt's life partner, they never got married, so my wife, or not my wife, did I say my wife?
This is awkward.
I don't know. Who cares?
Not the start, you finish with it.
My aunt's life partner, which is pretty much just her husband, but they just never got married for whatever reason. So they've been living together for like 40 some years or something like that. And he was an actual hoarder in their house down south from here. Fucking was like literally, it was a 2-story house, literally wall to wall with boxes.
Exactly,
clothes.
And little pathways to walk.
Yeah, you can only get like a pathway from the door to the kitchen and to the master bedroom that they stayed in. And the master bedroom still had shit everywhere. They had like, this guy had like so many ties and boxes, like we were going through it. Like I literally could take those ties and wear a different tie each day of the year and like probably be able to like go through like a different tie every day for like 2 years. Yeah. Just so many, like just like stacks of brand new clothes piled almost to the ceiling. Of shit. So like they clean that out, like because he's suffering from Alzheimer's, so he's in an actual home right now. So they're able to like get all that shit out and actually restore the house like it was.
Yeah.
But like a lot of that stuff, my mom would be like, "Oh, I could take 40 of these, whatever." It's like I was going through these boxes. And there's like literally a box, a cardboard box, like a big moving box full of these latex gloves, like rubber, like cleaning gloves. She's like, "Oh no, I could give that to somebody. Like someone could use those." And like it's just sitting there for like 4 years now, or like 2 years now. And so we're just like throwing shit out, and just going through it all. Like, why do we have all this? Like, why are you bringing stuff home from a hoarder's house to your house where you're not gonna be able to let go of it?
My buddy, when he basically got burdened with like cleaning the house when like his mom would leave to work, he would just like show up and like he rented like one of those
like dumpsters,
20-foot dumpsters that you have, the double door ones, and he fucking go in there and just throw away everything, and he'd fill that shit up, and it would make a dent, but I mean, like, it would fill up, and he'd still have more work to do. And then he'd have that dumpster, get the fuck out of there, and then she'd show up and be all fucking mad, but like whatever, it's how you gotta take care of it. She's gonna be mad, dude, so whatever, screw it.
But yeah, so the whole reason I fucking started doing this cleaning out my mom's garage is because all my my ammo reloading gears stuck in that garage in the back corner. I actually have like a nice bench set up with everything fucking bolted down. I have like all my reloading supplies there. Like that's where our safe is. Like that's where all my shit is pretty much. And so I was able to actually clear it out enough where I can actually have a functioning workspace now. So I've just recently started trying to reload my stuff. I have all the kit, like all the stuff I need for it except for powder and primers. Which there's actually a gun show coming to San Diego pretty soon, which I'm going to actually go to and see if I can buy the powder and stuff. Because it's so expensive with the hazmat fee. If you buy it online, it's really impossible. And you can't really find it in San Diego because there's like a limit as to how many pounds of smokeless powder a store can have if they even carry it. So it's like, and there's so many different powders out there. Like I'm looking for one specific subset of powder. But I was able to get that shit taken care of. I actually prepped all my brass. Like I got everything like fucking ready to go. And, one of the pieces, the crucial pieces that I needed, it's called a primer pocket swager, which essentially takes, military brass has what they call a crimp on the primer. So the primer doesn't fall out on accident. Like for whatever reason, it's like using a machine gun. Like they're really like stressful on the cartridges. So there's a thing that keeps the primer stuck in there so it doesn't pop out on accident or whatever through, handling or firing of it. And so it puts this little crimp in the brass and you can't put another primer into the brass until you remove that crimp. And so it's pretty much you can't use you can't reload anything until you take care of that one crucial step. And I bought a special tool for it and, of course, the piece that I need to use to do my large caliber brass, it's like fucking, it won't fit in my RAM because when they create, like they pretty much turned down or machined this piece, they didn't fucking turn down the stem enough. And so it's just like 0.02 of an inch, like too fucking wide. And so like I had to fucking send the company like, hey, like, this piece is too fucking big. It won't fit in my press. And like luckily they're cool about it. And I sent them an email on Sunday night. And they sent me back an email on Tuesday saying, oh, hey, you know what? Don't worry. We got you under warranty. We'll send you a new piece. So I'm just waiting for that piece to come in so I can start fucking reloading this shit. I'm like super excited right now because I can actually make like match grade bullets by myself, like fucking on my own and not have to pay like $1.20 a piece. I can make them for like 60 cents, which is going to be like, it's not going to save me money. I calculated out like, it's not going to save me money by reloading my own ammo. It's just going to let me shoot more for the same amount of money that I was going to spend. Because I'm still going to spend like $300. But I can get twice as much for that $300 than I would have, otherwise. So I'm fucking super stoked about that. And
but you could save money, but you're just not.
I could, but I'm just like,
you're just gonna shoot more.
I'm just gonna shoot more. I'm just gonna, yeah, essentially.
It's all good.
So that's what I was, like people are saying, like, yeah, you reload your own stuff, but it's like you're not really saving money. Like you're just getting more for your money because you're still gonna end up spending that much money anyways, just because it enables you to get out and shoot more. So I'm fucking stoked about that. Ready to go to the range this weekend.
Bitchin'.
Nice.
Bitchin'. What you got?
Going talk. Not a whole lot happened this week. I mean, because you guys went to that concert on Thursday, we're casting on Saturday morning. So, getting into it, I can get to it now. I went to the midnight pre-release last night, so that was a lot of fun. We can tell later here, but, other than that, not a whole lot's been going on for me this week. And
are you working?
No, not yet.
No,
I got the job.
I got it.
I got it, but I have to wait till like their next orientation day, and the guy doesn't know when it's going to be quite yet. So, but I have the job, so that's good news. But my wife currently is working for her uncle, and she's making some money to hold us over till then. So,
sweet.
Things are going okay with
jobs
that.
are cool, except they make you work.
Yeah, jobs are stupid, dude. That's why I just call them sick when I'm drunk.
Yeah, nice.
They're stupid.
And because it is, morning hours, and I slept for an hour and a half maybe from the pre-release to now, I don't have much to say about my week.
He's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, you're looking pretty rough.
We'll take over. We got this.
Yes.
You do not have the spunk that you normally do,
yes.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, he midnight pre-release till, you said like 6 a.m. or whatever?
I didn't get home till 6:45 in the morning. And then I didn't get to bed till like 7:15, 7:30.
And then now you're here, and now it's like 11 a.m. right now or something.
Yeah, but I didn't. I got like maybe an hour and a half of sleep. So yeah,
this is what you do though.
Yeah,
that's what I do, and I had a great time. I had no problems playing then. It's just the getting up now because how mentally draining a Magic tournament is.
Yeah,
like you're sitting there just all you're doing is thinking, but your brain is like 30-40% of your energy, whatever kind of thing. And then when you're putting in overdrive, having to strategize the whole time playing Magic for that long. It just takes a lot out of you. I mean, you guys all know.
Yep.
But, so yeah, it makes it a lot much tougher.
No, Magic comes so easy for me.
I just don't think, that's probably why I don't win very much.
Yeah. I just do like homework while I'm playing Magic because it's so simple for me. Even though I don't even go to school. I don't want to get rusty.
Yeah.
Nay. All right, well, my week, I mean, like, concert, I talked about that. That was awesome. Recovering all day yesterday, which was Friday.
That's so funny.
I was just, like, seriously, like, laying in bed until, 1, and then I got up, and then I didn't do anything, and then my girlfriend came home from work, and I basically just, like, went to bed, like, damn near, like, an hour after she came back. I'm like, listen, we can hang out, I'll, like, watch a little TV with you, but, like, I am fucking still exhausted, so went to bed. I overslept. I slept another, like, 12 hours. And then, like, people are coming over at 9 a.m. I woke up at, like, 8:55. I'm like, fuck. So, anyways, yeah, that happened. The weekend before, or I guess this last weekend or whatever, my girlfriend, she does, like, the pet sitting thing, right? She, like, watches animals for a fee or whatever, and she usually she always stays at their house. Like, it's not an agreement where, like, the dogs or cats or whatever come to my place and stay here.
Yeah.
So, we're not like a little fucking pet resort, goddamn.
Yeah,
so.
that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, so this time, though, was very weird, where this couple was having a wedding, and they're having it on Coronado Island in San Diego, and one of the dogs was, like, in the wedding. It was, like, the ring bearer or whatever, you know? So, what they did instead of, like, payment is they got us a hotel room at the resort for 2 nights. And we had to watch they had 2 dogs. They'd watch the 2 dogs from, say, like, 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday, or something like that, right? And so that's all it was. We had, like, 5 hours then and 5 hours the next time, and then we got in return all the daytime and then staying at a fucking really nice resort. It was like the Lowe's Resort is what it is. And it's, like, on the Silver Strand. So it's not on the island itself. It's like there's a connecting road that goes from the island down to, like, it goes straight south and then it connects to San Diego County, like, maybe like 5-6 miles south of the actual island. And then the top of the island is connected to downtown San Diego through the Coronado Bridge. There's, like, 2 ways in and off the island. So anyways, really super nice. The room, even we got, like, a basic room, and it still was, like, bigger than average with, like, a little dining room table area and a refrigerator and, like, a nice TV, and had a balcony that overlooked the pool, and it was, like, just really nice. So we got to just drink and party and go to the pool and just enjoy ourselves. And it was fucking free. I don't know what the room was, but I'm sure it was a little staycation,
That's cool.
So that was dope. We had a good time with that. During the week, I mean, I don't say, I just fucking worked. I got the beta for, the Magic Online or whatever, so I was just brewing and playing a little bit on there. Most of the week, I mean, it was just like cleaning the house and regular just bullshit that people gotta do,
You bring up the beta. I finally actually, applied for it, and should have done it months ago, hopefully getting like how you guys are. I finally did that. When you sent that little request in to try to become, a beta tester for it, did they respond to you anywhere within time at all?
No, not even.
Okay.
No, they won't let you know.
No, I got in probably 6 months after.
Well, I know it wouldn't be like they're telling you you're in right now, but not even like a confirmation.
No, not confirmation now.
It was just kind of like...
It was just 1 month later. It was like, hey, here's your access. I'm like, okay, thanks.
It's just weird with how, like, shoddy the website can be and how many issues it has. It's just like... I sent it like 3 days apart. I sent it in twice because I'm just like, well, but I even wrote in the next 10 little comments like, well, I tried doing this a few days ago, but the website was acting all crazy, so I'm not sure it actually went through, so I'm trying again just in case. So it's just like, I just wish there was just a simple email saying we got your request.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like just sitting there like, I have no idea. Hopefully I get in. Hopefully even got my request.
Okay, so there was, what happened? There was a community cup. That happened.
Yeah.
And this is like, we're kind of moving on to Magic Talk anyway, so
yeah.
I want to start with that a little bit. The community cup happened, and it was, I think 10 people from, was it 10 or 8? Something like that, right? Maybe 8, I don't know.
Is it like
but people from the
8 sounds
community,
right, yeah.
A lot of streamers or people that have YouTube channels or podcasts, basically like big contributors to the Magic community, which we are not. So we'll never be chosen for that. Because
we're too vulgar.
Yeah, they would
ever have a chance
Wizards,
anyways.
Wizards probably is aware of us, and they're probably like, yeah, we'll let them do their thing.
We need to figure out a way to shut these guys in.
We're never going to give them
How can we
now.
ban them?
We can just assume that they're not a Magic cast.
How can we cease and desist on this cast?
So I know the guy from like the Mana Source, the 2 girls from like Magic Amateuring. We had like SG Doc.
Newmont the Nummy,
Newmont's
like always in
Newmont is on there. He's a popular streamer or whatever.
I never get to watch Newmont anymore.
And then
Joel Larson,
yeah. So like people that are like big time streamers.
Gathering Magic.
Yeah.
I like those guys.
Yeah, they're good. The Commander guys, whatever, some of those guys. So anyways, it was a good thing. And then there was, Melissa DeTora and all the other fucking people that you may have heard. You probably I've just only heard their name from, the R&D team or whatever else could be from Wizards.
Well, Melissa used to be in tournaments a lot. She's a very good player.
And then now she got a job
back in she can't play in the tournaments anymore, so.
Right. So she's part of the R&D team also.
Yeah.
So anyways, they had that, and the community team won, which is awesome. It was a really good, it was really back and forth. They did a lot of drafting for the new format. I heard that Wedge from Mansour said that they drafted 15 times.
Oh wow.
They said it wasn't not because of the tournament, because they were there in Seattle. They just had access all night long. They would just fucking draft.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? That's awesome.
So they got to do that, which is cool. One of the guys opened Expedition Land, which is cool. Docked it.
Damn!
So he opened the first one, of all time, basically. Official one. That's cool. He doesn't get it yet. He doesn't get it. All those cards that he opened up, they have to hold on to him until release, which is funny.
It is funny. You guys can have them 2 weeks from now. We'll send them to you.
I'll take it.
All the people to get it. These are the good guys. Give it to them. Who cares? But they did that. So we got a little insight to what's good in draft, and we'll talk about that later. The other thing about it is that if the community team did win, then if you logged on to Magic Online during the same time, not now, but during that weekend, then you would get a one of each unhinged full art land.
I do not believe they said the number of lands. As far as I know,
thought it was one of each. That was fine.
They said a number. They didn't say one of each necessarily. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's only one of each unhinged.
I'm pretty sure it's one of each.
That makes sense. I'm just saying they didn't actually, from the coverage I was watching, they didn't actually say officially one of each. It says some number of unhinged lands is how Marshall Sutcliffe put it.
And then we got a
Promothalia as well.
Promothalia, yeah, that Death and Taxes type fucking card. The one that it's
legendary. You have to pay one more for non-creature spells.
Yeah, everyone does. Yeah, it's 2-1 for 2. So yeah, that thing happened. So I went on, but I was in the beta, and so I sent a Twitter message to Wizards hey, if I'm in the beta, do I still get it? Because I'm just confused, And I'm pretty sure I didn't get it. So
that's the next part I want to make an announcement about, because I wasn't sure when these lands were released, because I didn't actually hear the announcement when they're actually going to give them to everybody. So I was watching Doc's stream the next 2 days later, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, do they happen to tell you when the unhinged lands and the Thalia be released to the players?" He goes, "Oh, well, they didn't tell me. They told everybody." I'm like, "Well, don't be condescending, Doc. I mean, I get it. My bad." But apparently, they're going to be released on the 30th. Everybody's going to get the unhinged lands and the Thalia on the 30th.
Cool. Okay, well so look forward to that then.
Yeah, that was the first time I logged into MTGO in a year.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, maybe you were on, maybe you weren't, whatever, but I would just say at the end of the month, beginning of the month of October, just go on MTGO and just check and see if you might have a little special thing there, because those lands are sweet, and Thalia's sweet. I mean, it's free. It's just for you, so. It's Magic Online's funny. They give away some random stuff where I log on, and I had one of each Path to Exile.
Did you spend any money to do a draft?
Yeah, so I know it's for that, yeah. But it's still funny that they give away stuff, and I didn't even know it.
I didn't realize either until I was looking on the Wizards site trying to do the beta app thing, and I noticed they actually show on there, obviously they show which promos we win, but I didn't realize there's a level, if you play a tournament, you get this particular promo, and it's usually a little cheaper. If you spend $40 that month on MTGO, I think it's 40, then you get this particular promo.
Yeah.
So because that month happened to be both the different versions of the promo Path to Exile, and that month we must have fucking drafted a set. Yeah. I spent money to do that, and because you played that, you got one promo. I got Serum Visions and the Path to Exile is from just because I bought the money to play the drafts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had those as well.
It's cool. I mean, I was surprised. Nice. I'm is this some kind of error? And I'm like, can I sell these? What the fuck's going on right now?
This is kind of nice.
So they give you all the promo ones. They didn't give away the standard one, which the standard one's actually worth the most money.
Yeah.
Because obviously the promo one, everyone could get it, whatever, but. Yeah,
those promo arts are fucking sweet though.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the original art. That's pretty cool too, but there's nothing wrong with those promo arts either.
I agree. So that happened. Anyways, moving on. So the pre-release happened, and you were there, of course, for the first one. We're going to go later this week, but we'll talk about it next week, I guess. So, what did you draft, buddy?
So, I went to, first off, yesterday was Friday, and it's the end of the baseball season coming up here, especially for the Padres not going to make the playoffs. So, I went with my dad and a buddy of ours to the Padre game. So, I wasn't planning on doing the midnight release. So, I'd already been drinking for 6 hours, before the game, during the game. And then all of a sudden, like, we're on the trolley ride back home, I'm just like, it's like 9:45, something around there. I'm like, I'm drunk. Fuck it, I'm doing the midnight release. Which I'm very glad I went down and did, because honestly, like, I love doing constructed formats, I love return leader stuff, but there's something about sealed pre-release events that I just fucking absolutely love. Maybe it's because I continue to do really good at them, but I just feel very confident going into it. I keep making good decks and keep doing very well in these pre-release tournaments. So, just to start off from there, I ended up going 3-0-1, which was just fucking sweet. And the one draw was the final round. It wasn't a handshake. We actually played against each other, and we ended up having very similar, like, control ramp decks, and we were making, like, the same moves back and forth against each other, and it was just a very good match going on. Because of our deck was so similar, game one he got just slightly ahead, and so put me on the back foot trying to turn the corner. It never quite happened because he had enough control to not let me do that. Second game, I did the same thing to him, basically. And by the time the second game ended, it was literally 1 minute left on the round. We're both like, well, we're not getting this other game in, but let's go ahead and start it. And we were able to, like, get, honestly, we went to time. We kind of, like, played another, like, 2 turns before we actually go into turns, because it was the end of the tournament anyways. And so, like, I was actually able to get a quick start and get ahead of them. So we ended up tying, but I feel, and my hand was just great too. I feel like if I had enough time, I would have actually ended up going 4-0 against this guy.
Nice.
To start off, my pre-release promo was Sire of Stagnation. The 5/7 for Dimir and 4. And it's the it's the anti-landfall card, the Eldrazi. Whenever an opponent puts a land in play, they exile the top 2 of their cards, and you draw 2 cards. He's a fucking beast. I ended up going Simic colors and splashing 2 swamps to play him. And when he got on the field, it was just stupid good. So like I said, I went Simic, and on my first pack I opened, I pulled Big Daddy Ulamog.
Ulamog!
So right there I was like, well, I know what I'm doing in this tournament is doing everything I can to ramp up to Ulamog. And it worked out quite nicely. So the other rares I played was able to pull. I got a Guardian of Tazim, that, the blue intro pack rare deal. And he's just a fucking fantastic card.
He's like a flyer with landfall, right? Whatever he is.
Yeah, when a land enters the field, tap to our creature. If that land was an island, a creature doesn't untap during its during the untap step. Can't talk.
That's okay. We're good.
We know.
We got it.
I also pulled Endless one, the X, the 0/0 X cost Endless Eldrazi. And every time I played him for like 7, 8, 10.
So he's still
great.
Big fatty.
Yeah, and he's vanilla, but in fucking limited it was just fantastic anyways. And I also used Woodland Wanderer. And I'm not a big fan overall of the Converge, but this card's gonna be good anyways. But because I was able to play, I played 2 of the, what is it called? The Lifespring Druid for a green and 2. It's a 2/1. Tap at any color mana mana pool. So I only had 2 Converge cards, Woodland Wanderer being 1, and the other one was the Skyrider Elf, the fucking Manta Ray for Simic and X. Comes on the field for 1/1 counter for each color used to cast it. And that card's just fucking great.
So even by itself, it's still a 2/2 flyer.
Yeah.
No, at the very least,
Yeah,
it's a 2/2
2/2 flyer for 2.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's not bad at all, especially limited. That's good.
And then the other one, that other one's a 4 mana, 2/2 with Vigilance and Trample. And even if you cast it with only green, which would be bad, it's still a 3/3 Trample Vigilance for 4. That is already that's a great card already. Mm-hmm. And then if you can just add more, you can make it a 5/5.
Yeah,
I was casting it at 4 or 5 every time I cast it.
It's so amazing though. I mean, for limited, oh my god, it's crazy. And it'll see standard play too. I mean, it will, so it's gonna be awesome. So, because I was able to, and I got that Ulamog, my other payoffs for going that much mana and trying to ramp up to was I played the card I talked about, I think is just going to be running around all the time, is the common Eldrazi, the 8/9 for 8 trample. And, like I said, the Endless one, and the Guardian Tazim, and my other dudes, Sire Stagnation. And, another great card, by the way, is Deathless Behemoth for 6 mana and a 6/6 with Vigilance. You can sacrifice 2 Eldrazi Scions, return it to your hand from the graveyard. So, I never used, that ability until the final matchup, where me and him were pretty much playing the exact same cards, except for changes here and there. And so, there was a turn where,
I killed his, and he brought it right back. It's like, okay, well now I'm gonna go ahead and you kill mine, whatever. And it was like back and forth, and then
I'll keep bringing them back and whatever.
yeah.
Else.
And so like I was down to like me having this card and Endless One in my hand, and I had like 9 mana. And I was like, well, I'm gonna hold on to Endless One and continue to use this guy because the next card I drew was a dude that put 2 more signs on the field. So like I'm gonna use this combat trick or attack him with him, let our guys trade, and then think I'm not gonna get him back. Play that guy, sack the 2, the Scions, get him back again, and take the board over, and go from there. Situation. So worked out quite nicely.
It seems like a big limited bomb. I mean,
it's very good.
A 6/6 vigilance for 6 is already totally fine, like totally great card. And the fact that you can have like a recursion effect for him, like that seems ridiculous. Like first pickable. Yeah, we'll get to like the kind of what we're talking about for draft, like what our recommendations, but that's definitely a very, very high pick.
Mm-hmm. So, because I was trying to go, ramp up these Eldrazi, I played every single Scion maker that was in my sealed pool. So, this card is fantastic. Brood Monitor for 4 and double green. It's a 3/3. When it enters the field, put 3 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scions on the field.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I'm looking into this stuff. I was like, that's not probably good enough for constructed, even though it might still work in some cases. But like limited, man, that's a really, really good card.
So good.
There's probably some better ones for constructed, even if you're trying to go like this kind of Eldrazi ramp or whatever, but still, like limited, that is amazing. It's 6 power, 3 of them can sack for mana on the next turn, like it's really, really good.
So, and then I played Eyeless Watcher for 3 and a green, it's a 1/1, comes in the field, 2 Scions with it. Incubator Drone, 3 and a blue, it's a 2/3, comes in the field, a Scion with it.
That's the one that when something dies, you scry also.
No.
That's not that one?
That's not that one.
Okay.
It's just a vanilla 2/3 that brings 2.
Black-green creature, never mind.
Yeah. And then Call the Scions, just a sorcery for 3, bringing 2 Scions on the field. So I was just, getting a good amount of ramp in there with my other 2, the 2 elves that could tap for the color. So just doing everything to get mana in there and ramp up to get to those things.
Yeah,
and
you did it right.
I definitely did not have any mana problems at all.
How was it for, like, attacking with your Scions? Did you get...
I did not ever.
Okay.
I didn't. You just used them just to...
Yeah, entirely, because I don't think I even ever chump blocked with one. I didn't have to.
Really?
I had enough big dudes out there, I just said...
Fuck it.
I don't give a shit. I'll take your 3 damage in the air. I'll chump block with my 2/3 booty that you couldn't get through with anyways now, and...
Damn.
I never once had a chump block with a Scion the way my deck worked out. So it was quite nice, yeah.
It's really nice.
I was anticipating having to, and I was very afraid of somebody playing that. Like, it's not a very good card, and it should be more of a sideboard card, but I think it's for, is it a red and 2 maybe?
Yeah.
Do 1 damage all creatures, and also has Awaken for 7.
Yeah, it's 2, well, it's 1 in a red.
There you go, 1 in a red.
Yeah, 7.
Do 1 damage all creatures. So yeah, I mean,
which would be super good, yeah.
Which would be very good against my deck. So every time I played against red, I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't have that. And nobody ever did. So, excuse me, never happened to me. So I was like, okay, fantastic. So I
think it's a common too. I think
it sounds right.
It's
not super good.
Yeah, no, it's not.
More of a sideboard card against a Scion deck.
I still feel like I think that everyone's going to be playing at least like a little bit of that stuff. Because even if you're not, you're probably playing like ally stuff, which is going to be an X1 also. So I think it's a playable card.
I think
it's a main deckable card for one.
I think there's a chance. Depends on what else is in your pool. But yeah, it could be main, but I think it's mostly a sideboard card and what's going on with what I saw out there.
Definitely side. I mean, like that's a guarantee for sideboard.
What rarity is that elf that taps for any color?
That's a common.
That's common.
Is it common?
3.
Yeah, it's 3 to play it.
Oh, is it 3?
No. The 2 mana one is the haste rare.
That's the one I want.
That can only cast for creatures.
You can only use it for creature spells, but it is a rare. So
yeah. But that guy's good too.
Super good.
But like for going on my deck, I mean those 2 guys was just an easy pick for me. I did play one of Coralheim Guide. I had another one, but that's for a blue and 1, it's a 2/1, and it also has for a blue and 4, target creature can't be blocked this turn. So my second round, I was playing against this guy, and I went to game 1. I obliterated him. Game 2, we both mulliganed to 5. And he was able to kind of attrition me into finally getting the win. Game 3, I had him on the back foot the whole time. This guy had a Kiora too. I had him on the back foot the whole time, under pressure. And he tried to stabilize. And he used Kiora's -2 like twice to keep a land and a creature from the top 4 cards. So he does that. He gets a land, which will be his 8th land, and he finds the Eldrazi 8/9 trample dude. And at this point, I already have mine on the field, getting ready to attack the next turn. And he had already actually bounced out to my hand one time, and I played it again, then he did his Kiora thing with it. So he puts that down, and now we're into turns, and he's like, and then so the judge is sitting there watching, he's sitting there doing that, and like, okay, you're gonna forgive that fucking guy that's been sitting there for like 6 turns, aren't you? Which I never attacked with because his board state didn't allow me to. I'm like, you're gonna forget about that fucking card. So he puts it down and just kind of shrugs like, oh, it's gonna be a stalemate, and like, and passes it back to me, no mana open, like, well, unblockable, swing for the win. Like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. I'm like, yeah.
That's
perfect. I think that card's perfect. It's a 2-1 for 1. Or sorry, 2-1 for 2. So it's like you're getting 2 power for 2 mana.
It's still basically a bear.
That's a playable card. We're good to go. And then like later game, you have Eldrazi.
That's exactly.
So like it's perfect.
Yeah. You know? Why? That was my hope, was wanting that as a fucking Rogue's Passage later on, basically. And it worked out exactly like that for that one game. And it'll never happen again in another situation, but that one time won me the match. So
and it would have gone to time. So
yeah, we were in turn 3. I believe, so.
Nice.
My bit of control package overall. Well, I ended up playing Plummet later on. I didn't have it main board, but then I figured out that an issue I could have with the deck in one matchup was flyers. There's not a whole lot of decent flyers running around, but when they're out there, like, my deck wasn't able to, really deal with them very easily. So I ended up playing the Plummet in there, because originally it was Sylvan Scrying. So I bring that, bring Plummet in, because the Sylvan Scrying is because our only black card I'm splashing for is my Sire of Stagnation. But literally every game I played, I only played one regular swamp and then the common cycle where it comes in tapped and it does another ability. I played that swamp and I played that card. And so I was like, well, I'm Sylvan Scrying in case I draw him and need to go find a swamp kind of thing. But not once, literally every game I drew one, if not both, of the swamps, but never in a position where it actually hurt me. So I was like, well, this has just been a great mana day for me, considering I also ranked with the Scions too. So everything worked out very, very well together in that sense. So I played 2 Anticipates, which, that's just a good card. Tightening Coils is fantastic. It's a 1 and a blue enchantment or enchant creature gets -6/-0 and then loses flying. Yeah, this is a premium, pseudo removal card in this set, in this format. It's very good.
I mean, you're taking away a creature. Yeah, they have like a blocker, but that's all they have. And I mean, they can't advance their board state with that.
They'll jump one time with it, whatever, that's fine. But it's no longer a threat.
Yeah.
In the air coming at me or whatever's happening.
Perfect card, yep.
One little mini combo I want to talk about is Halimar Tidecaller. I think I only had one Awakened card that I played in this deck. And that was Clutch of Currents for a single blue, return target creature to his owner's hand for 5, Awaken 3. So I think I cast this for its single blue maybe one time, maybe not at all. And I awakened it probably 7 times the whole tournament. Like, it was just great. And so Halimar Tidecaller it's a 2/3 body for a blue and 2. Whenever Halimar Tidecaller enters the battlefield, you may return target Awakened card from your graveyard to your hand. And the land creatures you control have flying. So, just Clutch of Currents, Awaken, make a 3/3 land, play the Hidecaller, get the Clutch back, do it again. Fantastic. And that works very well with, was it Sheer Drop and other Awaken cards that are, good removal or good tempo. Like, that was just stupid good tempo to bounce their fucking thing that's a problem for me, or whatever, get another attacker. And then it gives land flying that is huge, fucking huge in this format. Wow. There's not a lot of legitimate flying. I already said it, I'm going to reiterate. There's not a lot of legitimate flying going around in this set. So you can get legitimate, flying threats. It is a problem for just about every deck. This is a very, very ground-based format right now.
So without too much detail, what strategies were people playing?
So I ran into, my first round was an ally deck.
Was it red-white allies, or what was it?
It was red-white. No, it was mostly black-white.
Okay.
With a touch of red, I believe.
Okay. Was it so that was attrition-y right there also? Was that like the life? It was like life?
No, she didn't have any life gain stuff.
Okay.
She was trying to go aggro at me. And so like game 1, she started off and she hit me for a couple, and then she had that core something or other for a white and 1. 3/1, and it can't be blocked by Scions.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that could be a bit of an issue considering I have so many Scions in my deck. And so her game 1, she started coming at me pretty quick. But then, as soon as I stemmed the tide with some little easy blocker or whatever, it's
No, they ran
down.
out. Yeah, they
You know,
ran
once
out.
you turn that corner, you're like, oh, I have a 4 toughness guy. And go
And
and
it didn't take me like that long to turn the corner either. It was just a matter of, okay, you've hit me for 6 on, and I was turn 3, whatever, and it's like, well, now let's go ahead and time to overrun the fuck out of you with my board. And
exactly.
It was a very good match, or a very quick match. I did run into a landfall deck. Again, aggro situation.
What color was that?
He was playing black-red.
Black-red?
Yeah, so he was using that, I believe it's for 2 mana, it's a 2/1 with trample, and land enters the field, it gets +1/+1.
Yeah, so that's an aggro deck too right there.
Yeah. He also was playing for 3 mana for a red and 2. It's a 2/2, landfall, gets +2/+2 till end of turn.
Yeah.
So like game 1, he came out hard and fast. I was able to stabilize a little bit, but I was so much on the back foot, and he had a lot of very good red removal and burn situations that he was able to like trade it like that with a very good card in this fucking battle trick, combat trick card. I think it's for a single red mana, maybe 2, a red and 1. Target creature gets +3/+0 and first strike till end of turn.
Oh,
that trades up so fucking well. It's incredible. It's like, holy shit. And so game 1 he got me. Game 2, I fucking longer game, but I was able to fucking take him down again. He came out hard and fast, but this time I was able to turn the corner on him and get the game 2. And then it was funny. The time game 2 ended, it was down to 5 minutes left in the round. I was like, fuck, like I want to, I don't want to draw. Right now I'm 2-0. I don't want to go to the draw bracket with that situation. So let's play a quick game. Let's get it going. Let's move. Because he was playing real slow overall. And so then it came down to that, and I was able to get fucking Guardian to Zeme out there, and then also the fucking 6/6 Vigilance, and it was just wrecking face. I was able to beat him very quickly. Went to turns, but like that didn't.
You already
turns.
knew.
Yeah, it was done. Like I was able to swing for 12. He was at 12. No, I had 8/9 trample on the field with the flyer, and so he's like, well, I can chump block for one more turn, but I'm done. And like I had already seen that red combat trick. So earlier on, to Zemus, a 4/5 flyer, he had that 2/2 on the field that gets landfall for he gets +2/+2. He didn't play land that turn, but he still swung in. I'm like, nah, fuck you, fuck you. I'm not letting you trade that card for my flyer right now. I will take the 2 damage. You can go ahead and still use that if you want. I don't care. He didn't use it right then because he's like, damn, I wanted to get that guy. I'm like, yeah, I know you did.
That's funny.
No. So ended up beating him, and that was round 3. So at this point now, I ended up beating him. So I went 3-0 at this point. So now I go up to table 5, and my next matchup against the guy I started talking about earlier was very, very, very similar decks. He didn't have much of a high end as me, but
he's still playing.
Like,
no Ulamog is what you're trying to say.
No Ulamog, basically. Yeah, he's playing Scions. Very similar control package of it. Like, I would say of the 40 cards, of the 23 playables, we probably had like 17 of the same cards.
Right.
Like, it was just a very straightforward back and forth match. He was definitely more on the ingest plan, and he was doing very well with it. He had the 4/5 rare processor, where you put 2 back from exile into the graveyard to get 3 Scion tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
when it enters the battlefield?
Yeah. So then, that was, it was good for him. But, like I said, did I talk about it on here? I don't know. Game 1, he got just slightly ahead, and I was on the back foot, and wasn't able to, close it out because he had the control with he was doing the exact same thing with Halimar Tidecaller and Clutch Occurrence. So, like, back and forth, like, he was able to get me with that. Game 2, I did the same, I got just barely ahead and did the same thing to him. And then by game 2's end, it was literally 1 minute left in the round. I was like, well, there's no chance in hell either one of our decks can get there. Not at all.
Yeah.
But I did have like my fastest start of any game. So I already had we got a couple turns in, and like I said, it was the last round, so we kind of like didn't quite go to turns right away. So we played like a couple more turns after that, or before going into turns. Then I had already I had my the fucking flyer elf, the Sky Raider elf on 3. I had already hit him for 6. And my hand, and then I just dropped a fucking Scion Maker, was getting ready to drop down a fucking, I think the 8/9 was coming up for it, but we were in turns, and so I wasn't able to finish it out, but like, given time, I would have gone 4-0 in this tournament. It was a very good night. Very good night.
So how many packs you had to win?
7. 3-0-1 was 7. 4-0 was 10, so I was like, okay, I'll take the 3-0-1, I still get 7 packs. Another card that you should not overlook, though, real quick, is the Giant Mantis. It's for a green and 3. It's a 2/4 with reach. Not super exciting, but for those particular few flyers, like the common Manta Ray deal, that's a 3/2 flyer. Like, can't get past this. There are a few flyers here and there, and
they're all small.
Like none of them have 4 power. Yeah, for the most part, like, you know. So like, just a very good card. If you're playing green, this is a legitimate card to be playing. And it's just a good booty. You're not really ever attacking with that thing, but that's fine. So that was my draft. Went quite well. My 7-pack I opened right there. My rares I got was Prism Array, which is whatever shit. Munda, Ambush Leader, Gruul, Draws, Overseer, just nothing good. I got 2 of the new Slow Lands, Double Check Lands, whatever. Canopy Vista and Prairie Stream. A March from the Tomb and a Brutal Expulsion.
So nothing crazy, but no, you got 2 of the lands, which would be nice.
You did some decent shit in your release.
Yeah, my sealed pool was much better draws overall than these guys, but yeah, it was a great fucking time. A lot of fun. I was, like, the format looking going into draft style looked fun, but I just wasn't 100% sure, like, how it was gonna go, and, like, I knew I wanted to, like, do some Eldrazi stuff, but didn't know if it was going to be viable and how viable the fast beatdown ally landfall decks were going to be compared to trying to ramp into Eldrazi. And now that I was able to see how good it is to curve out with the Eldrazi, ramping with it, excuse me, and then if you have your deck built correctly enough to just not worry about attacking early and just getting yourself to late game with, you know, big booty dudes and Scion Makers, because it doesn't take that long to drop that 8-drop with those Scion Makers. I mean, I was dropping the 8-drop on turn 4 and shit like that. It was stupid good. So, that made me, that much more excited because, you know, it's Zendikar. For me, it wasn't around for the original Zendikar, so like, the idea of playing the Eldrazi sounds fun. I was just worried it wasn't going to be viable. And after last night, it's viable.
You believe what you say.
Yes. That was a very, very good time last night, so.
Badass. Wish I could have been there.
So if you're on the fence about drafting this set, draft it. You're gonna like it.
It's probably gonna be better than Constructed.
Probably. But
Constructed will be interesting, but I'm curious to see
I'm very curious to see how Constructed goes with all these new cards.
I don't even really have many guesses, honestly, except for that I, you know, allegedly played against some decks or whatever, allegedly, because I don't think we're not allowed to talk about it, but whatever. And the one deck that I saw that was just like beaten massive face was a ramp deck. Mm-hmm. It was really hard to deal with. Like it's kind of like it's like, you know, mid-rangey, you know what I mean? It's not very controlling. It's just like ramping out
big shit
to get to the real big shit. And like, you know, when they drop an Ulamog, you're like, that's fucking sucks. You know what I mean? So there's some shit that's a really, really hard.
Oh, that was the one heartbreak thing of the night, real quick, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. My main goal, as soon as I pulled Ulamog, was like, my main goal of the night, and if I go 0-4, because the deck was like, well, this looks pretty sweet, but I don't know. I was still worried about being able to get there. My main goal was to cast Ulamog at least once and swing with Ulamog at least once. So I cast him. When you cast him, you destroy 2 target permanents. Well, this guy had 4 creatures on the field. I was down to like 8 life, and one of the creatures was the Valakut Invoker. It's just like a 3-drop, but you can pay 8 mana and do a lightning bolt to him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, he's at 6 lands. He's got 1 Scion token. I don't want him to drop another land and be able to burn me for 3 and do some other trick and get me, because I'd already seen that reprint from Tempest, the double red and X, where you damage divided among creatures or players.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to give him that chance to do that. So I didn't take the Scion. I got rid of that guy and some other creature. And I was like, I think that's the right choice. No. So I do it with Ulamog, and so I'm like, okay, come on, I get to fucking cast him. Well, I hadn't seen this card in game 1, so I didn't know to play around it. He had that fucking 7 mana exile target permanent. I was like, no! You son of a bitch, it's such a feel bad. I'm like, I'm gonna just shake your hand and quit this match right now because you just broke my heart. Fuck!
Yeah, what is that thing called? I don't remember. But yeah, it's a 7 mana colorless instant spell. Exile target permanent. Yeah. That's just it, you know?
Yeah, so.
Yikes.
And he had it. It's like, oh my god. Nothing else in your deck is going to be able to deal with Ulamog. You're not going to be able to bounce it, which if you bounce it, I mean, like I didn't have to use a bunch of Scions to do it. The game had gone long enough that I think I used 1 Scion, my elf, and 8 lands to cast him or whatever. So it was like I could still get there, fairly easily. And he does that, I'm like, no, you son of a bitch. Such feel bads.
Badass stuff.
But, every time if I had drawn Ulamog, like there's been many games I was able to play on. If I had, that's my plan to ramp up was very viable, and I was dropping my 8 drops and 6 drops and 7 drops quite easily. With, not a big deal at all. So it was a lot of fun. So my bad to cut you off. I just remember that right now. So
yeah, that's all I was saying is that like facing down like some new decks or whatever. That was the biggest threat. Was just the green X. Well, it was green white is what I faced, whatever. But green and X ramping into Eldrazi is just like real rough. I saw that it's the 4-mana colorless artifact that you can tap it and make 2 colorless. That thing is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, for in the right strategy, like having something on turn 4 that can ramp you into like 2 more. It was insane to see that he just had that much more mana available. It wasn't even like too much of the Scion token stuff. It was just the general, green Nissa's Revelation type whatever crap that would just go ahead and like pull, not Mr. Revelation, right, but one of those other ones, right? That just
they're not the rare, the green
one
rare.
Of the other, whatever. There's like a few of them.
Life.
Yeah, there's a few of those kind that you're just like, oh man, that's rough. It buys them time, and they get some 3 more lands, and then so the next turn they're dropping their big boy. Like some of that shit was real rough.
And there's also this is Pilgrimage for 3. If you get Spell Master, you get 2 force, 1 on the land, 1 in your hand.
Yeah, and then you get
Spell
3.
Master, you get 2 in the hand, 1 on the land.
So shit like that, exactly like that, and then you can go ahead and drop Ugin on the way to your Eldrazi, which is really bad. So that happened. It's really shitty. So like one of the games, what was it? It was allegedly, my opponent played an Ugin for 8, right? And he was down to, I think, like 7 or something life, whatever it was. And I was able to play that new Awaken Hero's Downfall card. Mm-hmm. So I played
Ruinous
it.
Path.
I killed, was that?
Ruinous Path.
Played that. I killed his Ugin with Awaken, so I awakened the land that was like, whatever, a 4/4 or something like that, I think.
I think it's Awaken.
And then I fucking swung in with the 4/4, and I had a bunch of Scion tokens left from, cause he minus when you got the Ugin out or whatever, and I was able to swing in for game. Cause like he didn't, he saw that like, okay, there's a potential he'll hit me like for 4 next turn or whatever, or 3 next turn or whatever, but like I had that exact haste land for 4 extra damage while killing this Ugin. It was like the most perfect play ever. So that was fucking epic. The Ugin thing is bad because there's so much colorless shit. That's the only thing that's bad about it. But everything else about Ugin is still great. So,
by the way, I absolutely love. They made when you awaken, the land gets haste. That is so incredibly good and important. That's like, wow, it actually makes Awaken a fucking maybe just limited. We'll see going forward, but at least for control decks or anything else. The fact that it gives it haste is just so much more of a fucking yeah. It's very good.
So Awaken is the new control mechanic for limited. So I think we're going to switch gears a little bit to talk about like drafting. Because Sealed is like, by the time you're listening to this, it's already done as far as the pre-release. And yeah, you can still go and play Sealed. That's fine because Sealed is awesome. But most of you are going to be playing Draft if you're doing anything at all. So drafting, there's a few different like strategies you can take depending on what you get or what you like see available. And blue-white Awaken is like the control format now. So you can also, Awaken is also like in black a little bit too, but still you're going Esper at the most. I mean, but blue-white is the most for sure.
There is some green as well. I mean, it's spread around.
It's a little bit, but yeah, but I know like white and blue have like
all the good Awakens in,
yeah. So like if you were to get that board wipe, the 5 mana, destroy all non-land permanents, or all non-land permanents, right? Planar cleansing type thing, whatever it is. Is that what it's called?
Pretty sure.
Okay. So you get that, and then it has Awaken on top of that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You wipe the board, and you attack it with your land. Or if you're playing the strategy, you already had an Awaken card before then probably. They have that one that's the blue bounce one, right?
Clutch of
and then you can pay 5 instead, and then Awaken for 3. So the same thing. You can like tempo with that. You have that 1 mana spell. You can do it, or you can wait until 5, and then you have that 3 mana thing, and then you wipe the board, and then you have your 3/3 along with whatever. What is it? A 4/4 that comes out from that one, or what's
from the clutch or from
the cleansing one?
I believe the cleaner is a 4/4.
It's 4/4. I'm pretty. So either way, you're swinging in for 7 that turn with a clear board. Like that's the way you get by with drafting a bunch of those things. There's a ton of this. Awaken stuff going on blue. That blue flyer.
If you're playing blue and you have the chance at Clutch Occurrence, take it. I'm not saying take it, in the first 4 picks. But if that thing starts going on the table, that card is so fucking good. If that one blue, it's already such a good tempo.
Yeah, it's super good already.
Because this is overall going to be a slower format, even though there is the ally and landfall beatdown coming at your face situations, there are viable cards to easily slow that down.
Big time.
And if they don't have any top-end synergy thing going on, if you can just stem the flow and stay at 14, 12 health by turn 4-5, you should be fine.
You should be fine, exactly. So that Helmar Tidecaller, that thing is obviously a super bomb because you're going to be your lambs are your main powerhouse. That's like your main win condition is the awaken mechanic. This gets back a card you've already played, and your lands out flying. Like you already said, flying is a big thing.
That's the uncommon. It's an uncommon, right?
It's an uncommon.
So you're not going to see very much, but I'm telling you that card.
But if you get it, you know what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. That card is going to be a top 4 pick all the time as this format breaks down. I almost guarantee it. That card is so fucking good. Because even you could just have 1 or 2 Awaken cards, it still becomes a very vital thing. And then let alone if you're actually going like Blue-White Awaken, oh my god. Given that flying and getting the card back, that card is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's ridiculous. So there's that, Anticipate's also a good card for that, just to get you to wherever you need to go. Tightening Coil is another good thing for that strategy.
Good.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff that you can go in that way. So if you start drawing a lot of Awaken stuff, just stick to like a white-blue, and then you can maybe splash another color on top of that. Probably not, though. I think it's a 2-color format, more or less.
Except for the Converge situation, which I've seen like in that Community Cup drafting. There's definitely viable Converge cards for limited.
But then you got to be like, you're not on another plan, you're on a Converge plan. Like, that's what you're doing.
Yes and no. Well, yeah. It'd be better if you're going that way. But based like how my deck was just Simic, but I had the elves happening for other color. I mean, they're just, and then I was splashing black right there, so it wasn't difficult at all for me to get several counters on my things with the Converge going on.
Right. That's fair.
And that was just with a couple of cards. I wasn't going out of my way for it at all. Just a couple more.
I bet drafting that people are not going to take Converge. So, and if they are, then you already know that's already out, and so don't even try.
Honestly, as far as limited goes, and the Converge cards I've seen played, I don't know that you want to make a full-on strategy based on Converge, but it's not a bad sub-theme at all if you're already...
It's not a downside.
No, not at all. If you're already, that elf, this format is... Like I said, yeah, there's a chance of being fast, but it's not. They don't have a legitimate top end. So if you can just stem the flow, it's gonna be a slower draft format. So that elf at 3 mana, which sucks, at 3 mana is actually quite good. It did so much work for me. It was stupid good. So just playing that alone right there, and if you're just splashing a third color just barely. Converge is an easy thing to have a card or two, 2 to 4 cards, whatever, without making an over-the-top extra effort for it at all, and still getting a legitimate card that you're now able to abuse because of these other splash land or the elf in there. It's a thing.
Quick question. At the pre-release last night, did anyone jump up and enjoy? Did you know if anyone actually got an expedition land of any kind?
3 people drew them.
So 3 people got it.
They announced it, make sure, who got them,
Yeah, that kind of locked down. There was 140, 170 people there last night.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people outside, a lot of people inside, and so they, kind of make announcements here and there, and they were trying to the shop owners always trying to push oh, if anyone wants to sell them, I'm offering now $50 a piece. Okay.
Yeah, right. I know. No
I think the best one drawn was Verdant Catacombs, I believe. So
yeah,
the green-black
fetch land. Yeah, that's dope. That's a really good one to draw.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Obviously looking for a blue fetch land, but still, that's a really good one too. Plus, it didn't get reprinted, so it's still the original price. You know what I mean? Some of the newer ones are a little cheaper, I'm sure, because they've been printed again. So
I'm ready for my box.
Yeah, no shit. So that was one of the strategies that you can go into. That's probably what I'm going to be most interested going into, but I probably won't go into it. We'll see.
The Blue-White Awaken strategy?
I kind of want to play that the most, but I don't know if it's going to be the most viable. It just depends what you get past you,
Yeah,
I think it'll be really exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely got
new mechanic. It's a cool new mechanic. It's weird.
At the same time, you don't have to build a deck. If you can go for full-on Awaken situation, but just having those cards, and the Clutch of Curse is already a fantastic tempo card in itself. To let alone 5 mana is not difficult in this fucking format. Not even having to do Scions. You just have time to have 5 lands and just hold that in your hand. There's so many times I had that opening hand. I only had the one of, unfortunately. But there's so many times I had that opening hand. It's No, I got time. I'm awakening this bitch. I'm not gonna use this early. It's not enough pressure. I can stem the flow. Because most other decks are not that super fast anyways. It's like, there's no reason to play that early unless you really have to. Just hold that for the awaken.
So besides like the awaken stuff, there's like allies, right? And allies kind of like Mardu allies or something like that. So you can pick
that's the basic colors for allies,
which way. You're probably not gonna go 3 colors once again, but you might. But you might go like red-white allies, or you might go like black-red allies, or you might go white-black, or
mana
whatever.
Fixing and different things going on that I don't think going 3 colors is going to be that big of a thing.
Well, fair enough.
Like, it shouldn't be that difficult to do. Obviously, you don't want to go, even spread a third of each color, because that's just going to be way too difficult. But you can easily splash that third color without it being a big issue, I believe.
So there's that, though, available. There's a lot of, like that fucking 1 mana 2/1, that's a good start, right? Like, why would you not draft that if you're playing allies? There's a couple rares that are good for it, but there's like the rally mechanic, so when an ally enters battlefield, then you get to trigger whatever.
This is actually like a lot of like common allies.
Yeah, there's a lot of common stuff. So
you have enablers.
It's going fast, and then once again, you don't have top end, so then you'll lose. But you'll be the fastest of the format, so that'll be nice to have something like that. You'll have either the landfall deck, he was saying like the red, black, basically red something landfall deck, where when you play a land, your creatures get pumped. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you have that available to you, then that'll be the fastest along with the allies. So if you're interested in that, you're basically going red and another color, or maybe 2, probably more to go be the fastest of the format.
I feel like you're definitely playing white.
The green and and the white too. So I guess red-white is going to be the start, and then maybe black could be splashed in. But you're going to basically doing that for the fastest of the format.
I'll make a quick comment about the landfall deal, because I actually drew my winning packs. I got Ghoul Draws Overseer, and that's the 3/4 flyer for double black and 4, flying and landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under control, other creatures you control get +1/+0 to end a turn. If that land is a swamp, those creatures get +2/+0 to end a turn. So my opponent, I felt, made a very bad mistake when it came down to game 2. Like, it could have been the match for him. If he had, it wasn't for sure going to win this way. It would have been a lot more pressure on me, been a lot harder for me to actually pull that one out. So I had dropped the giant mantis earlier on in the game, very early, and I ended up sitting there the entire game. I was never able to get rid of it. So I was he had 2 small flyers. I had the one in the blue and Jess Dude for 1/2 flyer. He had an Eldrazi for the blue and 2, and it's a 2/1 flyer. It comes in and brings a sign, I believe. So he had those, but he didn't want to attack things. My giant mantis would kill it. So he had those late game, and he had another flyer after that. Well, when it came down to him playing this card, the next turn, even that turn, he played a land. I'm like, okay, so he didn't even swing in, so you just wasted a land there. So right off, remember, if you're doing a landfall card, try to be strategic with it, because it can get you a very good advantage. And it seems obvious, but it's also very obvious sometimes you just drop a land sometimes and you don't necessarily need it, or it's that much more important. It's already good strategy to, if you're down to 2 cards, you had enough lands in the field, and you got one in your hand, whatever, it's just very good to bluff a real card instead of a land. That's already just good tactics anyways. Now landfall, it's that much more important. So he plays that land and doesn't even attack in, so I'm like, okay, well, it was a plains, I feel like that was a waste or whatever. And now he's down to no cards. He top draws and Evolving Wilds. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, fuck. And he also had the card on the field. I forget what it's called. It's a 3/3 though. And you can pay a blue and 2, return a card from exile to the graveyard, tap target creature.
Okay.
So he taps down my giant mantis. And at this point I had no flyers. Now, first attack I had 1 flyer blocker after that. But he does that, taps him down, swings with 4 of his guys with the 1 landfall trigger. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck me. And the card he put down was Evolving Wilds.
So he's going to crack it and get double.
He's on top of that, though, triple. Because he's going to get a swamp. So I'm thinking, fuck, I'm not going to die from the swing, but this puts a lot more pressure on me.
Yeah, because all the creatures get +3/+0. That's insane.
But then he fucked up. He played the Evolving Wilds, swings in. I got 1 chump blocker for this one dude, which ended up, because it only gets +1/+0, he had the 2/1 flyers. I put my Ingest in front of him, which was the 1/2, so I ended up killing him in combat. But he didn't crack the Evolving Wilds. He didn't go get a swamp and get the second landfall trigger. I'm like, you can crack that at instant speed. It's an obvious trick. I know you're going to do it, but I had no other choices. This is the one guy I can block. He's got the most power, based on you're going to add 3 to it in my mind, because I could have chumped the 3/4 Ghoul Draws or Overseer. But I'm like, well, I'm going to block the 2/1 because that's going to get +3/+0, be swinging for 5. I'm like, I don't want to take 5, besides other guys besides that. So I ended up only taking 5 damage from these other flyers, and he could have hit me for fucking, what was it? 8 damage instead of 5 or 9, 10 damage, whatever. I was at like 14. So like, it would have been a much more, I'm in big shit trouble if he had done this correctly. It's like I didn't say nothing to him. I'm just like, dude, why would you not crack an Evolving Wilds and drop a swamp? Like, just stupid.
Evolving Wilds is more relevant now than ever before, I feel like. Evolving Wilds is a combat trick, like you said. It's a way to find that mana that, like, maybe you just need it for something, There's a lot of activated abilities, a lot of shit going on. But definitely what he just said. The main thing is that if you're playing a landfall deck, then Evolving Wilds is like your best friend. It's like the best combat trick there is. Yeah. It'll get you that mana you need. Like you said, some of the landfall triggers have like a requirement to like have an extra bonus for the type of land that's coming in. So yeah, Evolving Wilds is 2 landfall triggers, but in this case it could have been like basically 3 landfall triggers because it gets an additional bonus because it's a swamp.
For that
there's a few of these cards. I think there's 1 per each color or something.
Yeah, there's a cycle.
And
that was one of the rares I pulled. I got the red one, but I didn't go red.
Yeah. So Evolving Wilds is like, if anything, you're gonna probably use it in the deck anyways, but just fucking hate on it. Like, Evolving Wilds is a top pick nowadays,
Well, yeah, top enough. No, you're not picking that, top.
No,
but it's a legitimate card.
It's a very important card though for a lot of strategies. Take it and use it, even if you're not going to be playing landfall. As long as there's no other better pick, But it's better than most other cards now. And before it would be like, play 1, that's fine. But now it's like, no, this is more important than that. You can play 2, you can play whatever. It's a thing. It's a combat trick.
So that's weird. That's the moral of my story is just pay attention because landfall adds another strategic factor. Like, I wasn't around for Ritual Zendikar, so this is my first time playing landfall. But with how we do our set reviews and just knowing in that situation, like, it's just, you have to have that in mind. If you had a landfall card and you play it, like, now you have another advantage. And do it correctly. Do everything you can to abuse that. And make sure you don't accidentally go, I'll play a land, fuck. Like, at one point in my round 3 opponent, the dude who was like coming at me real fast and all that jazz, like, I had my Sire Stagnation on the field. Well, I got that down when he only had 4 lands. So we ended up playing a 5th land right there. But his deck was very low to the ground. He didn't need to play another land, but he forgot about my card and just like instantly drew a land and threw it down. Like, well, I get to draw 2 cards now. I've drawn 4 cards off this guy now, and you definitely didn't need another land pretty much. So there's just things you gotta pay attention to in the set now. You can't just willy-nilly throw a land out there. You can, but you're either you're gonna get a disadvantage for the timing when you do it, or you're not going to get good enough advantage, the same difference. You're not going to get good enough advantage for the combat trick you could have done.
Yeah.
Just, you got to pay attention to your land drops now.
Yeah. I think people just get a big learning curve. It's a lot of mechanics happening at once, so it's still going to take
it get better when people start playing with it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course. So I'm just saying, like, saying it now so that when you get a chance to draft, don't make that mistake. Plan on
it. Pretty bad. So, besides that, what else do we have? We have, like, the Eldrazi stuff, you pretty much have to play. You don't actually necessarily have to play green.
Green is going to help you so much.
Green's going to help you a lot, though.
Yeah.
But there has been, like, red-blue has all, like, the colorless. That's most of, like, the colorless Eldrazi creatures, I feel like, are in red and blue, like the ones that are just, like, devoid, I should say. Mm-hmm. The devoid guys or whatever. And some of them bring out creatures, but other of them are just more like the ingest stuff. Like, if you want to go, basically you're going like red, blue, ingest is kind of what it is. And then you'll finally get to, your Eldrazi, whatever it may be. So that's another strategy you can play. Probably is not going to be a very highly played thing, but still, like, they have that red, blue instant, like that command card. That you pull up whatever.
Brutal Expulsion.
Yeah, so you have that, and then you have tons of other like 2/3s and whatever else that when they come in, you get one of their cards in exile, you put it in the graveyard, and something happens. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of that shit that can go on. So that's one of the strategies you can play.
I really think the Simic control ramp archetype is going to be a legitimate, very good player in this.
I think so too. I think so too.
I did such work with that, and I didn't even have like a great amount of control. It was just good tempo. Good, the 6 mana, or the -6/-0 for 2 mana.
Yeah.
Creature loses flying. Very good card. So
I agree. I think that that green-blue would probably be the best to get to Eldrazi. Green, of course, it's obvious, right? But then green also has the thing about, the 3 mana, it's 2 and a green for an instant where you go ahead and search for a land, put it in tapped. And that's really good to be playing, if you have a counter or you have some kind of other spell that you can hold on to, you can have that sitting on the back burner. If they don't play, anything relevant, then you can go ahead and just cast that instead. It's also a really good combat
with landfall
trick for the red-green version of the red deck, the really fast red deck, that landfall we were just talking about. You can play green with it also, and green has the 1/1 that gets +1/+1 when the land enters battlefield. There's a lot of green fast stuff too, actually, that can go along with that. And this is a good combat trick along with Evolving Wilds. They have that green card that's +2/+0. You can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. That's for one in green. That's fucking amazing on itself. It's already a combat trick of +2/+2, but then you get to trigger landfall, instant speed. These are really, really good cards. So
also makes Pilgrim's Eye is not a bad card in this
what
set.
What is that one?
For 3 mana, it's an artifact creature, flying 1/1.
Okay.
And just
yeah.
search your library for a basic land.
Right. That's a great card too. That's a reprint. Yeah.
It is. It's not at all a bad card for what's going on. Yeah. You think 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer, but you get to go get a land. It's actually viable for this set.
Yep. So that would be a good card. That's uncommon though, no, right?
I think it's just a common.
Maybe it's just a common.
Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I don't feel like it should be uncommon, but if it is,
it might not be. I don't remember. But that's another thing you can have happen. The blue-green, I agree. It's tempo to get you there, maybe a little bit of awaken in the meantime, but then the green will just get you the Sylvan Scrying, will get you that 3 mana instant speed one. There's a lot of good shit to really ramp you out. That fucking, like I said, that 4 mana uncommon, the one, that artifact that taps for 2 colorless, that's fucking dope as hell. It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
So you have that. Then another one you can do is if you draft that 2/2 vampire. The 2/2 flying vampire for 3 mana, it's 1 white and a black.
Every upkeep they lose a life, you gain a life.
Yeah, every upkeep exactly. They lose a life, you gain a life. So if you get that thing, I feel like you gotta just drop whatever you're doing and just go ahead and go for some kind of life gain thing like that. Black has a lot of the shit where the trigger is off gaining life. So
it's all painting.
I think it's a 2/3 for 3 or something like that, or 2/3 for 4. I don't know what it is. And I think it's 2/3 for 3. When you gain life this turn, it gets Death Touch sort of turn, which means that you have you can do a combat trick to see if you can get a land on your opponent's turn, but otherwise you just get to swing it for 2 for free. You know what I mean? You get to swing in with a 2/3 every turn as long as you gain life. So if that combo goes off, you're good to go. There's a couple lifelink creatures, but there's also if you gain a life, then this creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. It's another kind of landfall trick of something triggering like that based off gaining life. So you have that strategy to go for.
That was definitely one of the best decks running around in the Community Cup draft. The black-white life gain Orzhov deck is going to be a very good draft deck as well. I didn't see that at all at the pre-release, but watching the Community Cup, that is a deck for sure.
They have a 1 mana 1/1 that you can pay 3 and tap it, and then you gain 1 life. Bad card. But it's good in this deck.
Yeah.
So otherwise don't play that. But if you're looking for some stuff, just look for anything that has.
I think we just pay a single white to tap and gain a life.
No, that's one of the previous sets.
That was a Crow and Jailer that tapped a creature down. I'm pretty sure it's just 1 white to tap and gain a life.
Let's see here.
We're looking at that right
here. Oh, this is a different one. This is a different one.
So for a white and 1, it's a 1/1 body. And then
1/3.
1/3. Oh, that's way better too. So you pay a white, tap it, you gain a life. That is a very good card for the Orzhov life gain deck. Vampire deck.
Yeah, so Serene Steward. It's 2 mana, 1 and a white. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 white. If you do, put a counter on target creature. Not even himself. I would figure it'd be himself. But it's a 2/2 for 2, and whenever you gain life, you get to put a counter on something. That's obviously amazing. So that's fucking fantastic. There's a few other ones that are just like that same thing about when you gain a life, then something happens, you know what I mean? Oh, here you go. It's a 4 mana for a 2/3 flyer. When it enters battlefield, you gain 2 life.
Yeah, so the same thing. The 2/3 flyer for that 4 is already a good enough
totally
card.
Fine.
You add the 2 life, it's just another little bonus.
Yep.
I will make one comment. The black-white vampire life gain deck is going to be a thing. At the pre-release this weekend, or last night, the color I saw the very least of running around was white.
Oh, white? Really?
White.
I think white and
barely
black
saw
both would be the ones you don't
white.
see. I think white and black both of this would be the
What black
colors.
removal is there? Is there any common level removal for black?
So there is one really good one.
Bone Splinters.
Bone Splinters. So Bone Splinters is also a reprint. It's 1 black mana for a sorcery. In addition to casting, you have to sack a creature. Who cares? You have all the 1/1s ever. And then you can destroy target creature. So that is
Take down the 8/9 Trampler with your 1/1.
You play this. It was instant speed to be a lot better because then you'd be able to like block.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. That'd be too good.
But it's still really good. And then there's Altar's Reap is another thing. It's not a removal, but it still is. You sack a creature.
The guy who played against that red black guy I played against, he chumped my 6/6 Vigilant guy with a little whatever nothing creature, and then as he chumped it, he sacked it to Altar's Reap to draw 2 cards after chumping me. Like Altar's Reap is a good card.
You have Demon's Grasp. It's 5 mana, 4 and a black. It's just your standard. Like this is removal. Target creature gets -5/-5 till end of turn. Is it very playable? No, but I mean, like if you're looking for black removal and you get one of these, probably just play one and you're good to go. I wouldn't say playing a bunch.
Unholy Hunger is obviously better because it just destroys no matter what, basically.
Absolutely.
But that's still a very viable card in Limited.
Yeah.
I mean, that is still premium removal overall.
So, yeah, exactly. So let's hear more life gain stuff. So there's a Super Bomb, and it's Super Bomb. So it's 5 mana for a 4/5. It's a Vampire Warrior ally. It's, Calastria Nightwatch? I don't know what that is, barely. But anyways, when you gain life, it gains flying till end of turn. It's a 4/5 body. It's a 4/5 body for 5 in black that's already totally as good as black's gonna get. You're never getting a 5/5 for 5 in black. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen that way. You're getting a 4/5 damn near as good, and then it gets to have flying every time you gain life. The deck is built around it. You're trying to gain life every turn. Even though it's only 1 point of life, you're not even trying to like survive through gaining life. You're trying to trigger your creatures through gaining life.
And side note, it's also an ally.
It's also an ally. So that's good. It's playable no matter what. Let's say that.
Before you move on, this card, because there's so much Awaken running around, it really is a thing in this set, because it's slower, like I said, and why would you not Awaken if you can? This card is very fucking good. Grip of Desolation was a total blowout against me at one point. So for double black and 4, it's an instant with, devoid, exile, target creature, and target land.
So, I'm sorry I missed that, because you're right. That is the best removal in the entire set. There's nothing better than that, so. 6 mana, but you don't care, right? Because it's slow set. It's totally fine. So you're playing black, you get this removal spell, you have the best removal spell in the format. It's amazing. So, more other things for this deck, like, Malakir Familiar. It's 3 mana, 2 and a black. It's a bat. Flying Death Touch 2/1 whenever you gain life. It gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So, it's already what you want to be doing. It's a 2/1 flyer for 3. That's totally fine. It's got Death Touch, which means it's going to get fucking in. You know what I mean? For 2 each turn. And if you gain life, it gets in for 3 each turn. That's fantastic. It's a really good, it's flying Death Toucher, so it's already, you can hold it back and kill anything other than like Ulamog or whatever. And, then otherwise you're just going to be able to get in damage every turn. This is a Super Bomb, obviously. What is this? Near Kana Assassin is that creature I was talking about. The 2/3 for 3 that gets, Death Touch when you gain life. That's a good one.
That right there, Malakir Familiar?
That's what you said.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought you were reading a different card, yeah. The 2/1
so that's the awesome thing
Very
right there.
good card. I used a plummet on that guy in the early game. I was like, no, I don't want to deal with this Death Touch, dude. This is worthy of a removal spell.
Exactly. He's a removal spell that also gets in damage. I mean, that's perfect. So, there's a lot of other cards like that just, when you gain life, this thing happens, and so, if you go that route, you're going to be very powerful. I mean, you're going to be gaining a little bit of life here and there, keeping yourself alive for longer, and getting in damage, and just like that same thing of like, when a creature dies, then, when a creature you control dies, they lose a life, you gain a life. That's that, what is that old card that they used to play?
Yeah. It's not quite the reprint of it, but it's
close though. It's very close, so. Yeah, that's a very good strategy though, I think. Besides that, there is the Converge mechanic. Play as many colors as you can. Converge into whatever. Converge is like all over the place. So there's like drawing cards. There's like, board wipes. There's the tutor effect. There's all kinds of shit you can do. But Converge is, definitely blue-green. And then from there, maybe it's like blue-green-red. And then whatever else. So, but yeah, definitely blue-green though for Converge. And then I would say like lastly, there would be the, green-black sacrifice deck. Which is talking about a lot of these cards we mentioned, like Altar's Reap and the one of the best removal spells that what is it? The
Something
1 mana one that I just mentioned.
Oh, Bone Splitter.
Bone Splinters, yeah. So you have that at your disposal. Then you have, if you're able to draft, what is this fucking thing? Vampiric Rites. It's 1 mana enchantment. Pay 2, 1 and a black. Sack a creature. You gain 1 life and draw a card. And because it's like instant speed stuff and you get to play on turn 1, the rest of the game, whenever something's gonna die anyways, you sack it and you just go ahead and refill your hand with a card and gain 1 life. Like, that's fantastic.
I'm definitely a fan of that enchantment.
Yeah, it will go ahead and gain you that life that you need to trigger your other things, in that other deck, but even still, ignore the life gain. You're just drawing a card when something's going to die. That's perfect. It's kind of like a evolutionary leap. And if you play a 1 of, and you don't play any more than that, but you play a 1 of, and then if you get it on the board, then this thing will just help you along the way. It'll make the game just go longer, and it'll be a bomb. So
people are going to want to try to do allies and try to undercut things, and I'm sure sometimes ally deck will be good enough where you're able to draft it well enough that it's fast enough and good enough. But really, I think what's going to dominate this limited situation is it's going to be a slow format. And I think getting that early game big booty to stop that allies. Yeah, I don't think it's fast.
Nothing's fast enough.
The big things you can ramp and drop into are just stupid good. Like, one of the things I was most excited about and talking about from the get-go was the 8 mana, 8/9 trample common Eldrazi. I think you're going to see that all over the place in the ramping decks, because there's a lot of viable ramp, all the scions running around. And again, I drew one, I knew instantly I was playing that card, because even if I wasn't doing the ramp deck to Eldrazi stuff, that is still a very good top-end card. 8/9 Trampler, that is a very good fucking top-end in this slower format.
Right. So, playing into that green-black thing, there's that blister pod, the 1 mana 1/1 that when it dies it creates a scion token. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's like dope for the strategy. So you can use that and like sack it into the Vampiric Rites, and then you get a mana ramp, dude, and you get to draw a card and gain a life. Like, that's a sweet combo. That along with Carrier Thrall. It's a 2 mana for a 2/1, which is already fine or whatever. And then when it dies, you get the same thing. You get to put a Scion out. So same thing. Interact with your Vampiric Rites, draw a card, get a Scion token. Fantastic. This is a very good card. It's a 2/3 for 3, 1 black and green. It's an uncommon, so like, are you going to get it every time? Maybe not. But when it enters the battlefield, you put out a Scion, so you're getting 3/4. You're getting 3 power for 3 mana, which is great. And then when another creature you control dies, you get to scry one. So you get to be able to like sack stuff. You get to scry and draw a card. You can put the triggers in the way you want it to. So you scry first, then draw the card, gain a life. So that's fucking dope. So if you get those things, that's an obvious really good card. This is a rare, so it's kind of hard to talk about, right? But the Smothering Abomination, it's 4 mana for a 4/3 flyer. Oh. That all by itself is like, alright, it's a 4/3 flyer in black. That is going to be like, it'll fucking mop the board, dude. 4 power in the air in this format is insane. So you have that, and then whenever you sack a creature, you draw a card. At the beginning of each upkeep, you have to sack a creature. So it has a downside that you have to sack a creature, but it also is a sack outlet, and will draw you a card. So as long as you're playing the right strategy and you have enough Scion tokens,
you should be playing this kind of deck and a black-green deck anyway, so you're going to be able to drop all kinds of green Scion makers and use those to draw cards.
And you're not using those to ramp into Eldrazi. You can, maybe, if you have like one Eldrazi that's really good, okay, fine, but you probably won't. You're probably using them to attack that turn, and then sack, and then go ahead and draw a card, and you're good to go. So this other one, when you use this along with Vampiric Rites, you draw 2 cards. Because one of them is a trigger of sacrificing a creature. The other one just says whenever you do sack a creature, it does it. So you draw, if you have this and that, you sack a single Scion token, you draw 2 cards and gain 1 life. Like, that's amazing, right? You're right. Things have to fall into place like really well, but that is a route you can go, as long as you get those cards. From Beyond is a rare, but it's still like perfect card strategy.
It's good.
Once again, if you get these cards in opening packs, whatever, in your first pack one, pick one, you're like, fuck, this could be really, really powerful. So you start drafting these kind of cards afterwards.
Build around situations.
Yeah. Zalaport Cutthroat, it's a 2 mana 1/1. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life, you gain a life. So same thing, you sack your own dudes, and then you can do like attrition that thing on top of all the other triggers. So you get to do that. And so top end, there isn't top end unless you make the top end. If you build the green-black sacrifice deck, there isn't anything that you're going into. There's that 6 mana dude, the 4 and 2 green that brings out 3.
Oh yeah, he was in my deck. He's very good.
He's also
he's a 3/3 body and he brings 3 1/1.
Yeah, so he's not really
good card.
He's still not very top endish. Like, he's not winning the game good. He like helps you a lot, but he's not like winning the game good.
It'd be good in the sacrifice deck. It'd be fantastic for that. He's also very good in the Simic Eldrazi ramp control deck.
Because you're using him a different way.
Super fucking good.
In this way, you use him for like more sack outlets. to draw more cards. And the other way, you're using them to sack them to go ahead and make 1 mana per dude, and then you can bring out your Eldrazi. So he would be really good in this deck, though. And then you got to figure out a win condition. So maybe like that 8-9, or
it is a con. I'm just saying, like, the format is going to be slower. It is a legitimate top-end card.
I would say my favorite top-end card for this, if you're going green-black, is that 6/6 Vigilance guy.
Oh, he's fantastic.
So he's good in any deck, but because you're going to have more Scion tokens that you're able to sack, not for mana, but just sack in general, if you were to have, say,
Deathless Behemoth.
6 mana,
6/6 Vigilance, and you can sack 2 Scions bring them back from the graveyard to your hand.
So that's what I'm saying. So you have those Scions available to have that recurring effect out of the graveyard, the reanimate effect. So now think of a perfect scenario where you have the Abomination out, you sack 2 Scion tokens, you get to draw 2 cards, and then you get to bring this guy back into your hand. You just got 3 cards for 2 Scion tokens. Like there's some amazing things that can happen if everything goes right. So,
dude, like I said, in that final round I played the Deathless Behemoth, played him, and then 2 other times brought him back into my field with my Scion token makers.
Yeah.
Very good card.
Yeah, so this is the deck that, like, I've thought the most about, and I'll talk about it in a second when I talk about my standard deck, that this is kind of the route had the most ideas about, the most like, oh, this would really synergize really well with this, and blah, 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 rather than just being a ramp to Eldrazi or just a on the ground beater thing. This takes a little more thought, I feel like, a little more strategy or whatever, because it's like hard to make work, but if it does, I think it'll be really powerful.
I mean, if the draft spot allows you to do that, you're able to get this sacrifice deck, it can be very good. It just becomes whether or not you're able to pick up these cards when you're drafting.
Right.
Oh man, let's go. Let's pre-release right now. Screw taking the girls out tonight.
Oh yeah, the fucking
so much fun.
Our girls are doing a girls' night tonight or whatever. Oh my god, so we gotta stay like sober and go pick their asses up at fucking 1:30 in the morning or whatever. So
suckers.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, have you guys had any ideas for standard decks?
I got a couple different touch ideas. I mean, I'm a big fan of token strategies overall. I'm trying to step away from that a little bit, but the idea of token and Zata, the goblin bitch, I mean, there's just so many things there that can be just abused and stupidness about it.
So like beta, I did that too, so.
I mean, that sounds fun. I mean, I want to do a ramp deck as well, maybe a ramp landfall Eldrazi deck situation and want to work in that, but I haven't put anything like fully together. I have basic outline or brew ideas.
Right.
But it looks like you've actually built a deck that you want to test out.
It's a simple one, yeah, but I have, allegedly play tested it and I really like it, so. The only thing, this deck is allegedly good against, I think everything except for mid-range decks. Like, if I was to go against like Abzan Control, I think it'd be pretty much a blowout. I don't think I can face that kind of stuff. Facing down stuff like I know a lot of stuff's rotating out, which is nice. Like, I've been facing like
1,000 cards are rotating out.
I know. That's why, but I've been facing like Kiora, not Kiora, I'm sorry, Elspeth or something like that. This deck wouldn't do it. There's just too much.
Good thing she's gone.
Yeah, good thing she's gone. So
I wanted to say that earlier. I actually kind of I know we've all been kind of iffy on what standard cards are really playable from this set. I'm going to make the bet now that with that 1,000 cards rotating out, that this set actually has legitimate impact on the metagame. Just because there's so many things that can be built with so many different cards, there's so many different styles and options that are now more enabled that obviously Abzan mid-range and Abzan aggro shit's still going to be there.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you only got better with Abzan aggro putting Hanger back in there instead of Fleece Mane. So Abzan's there. But I think there's going to be some Eldrazi decks.
I totally agree.
I don't think it's going to be as much. Everybody's hating on this as constructive situations with the set. And while I could see those thoughts, that thought process too, that I don't know if there's good enough constructed cards here. I bet you that it has a good impact on the metagame.
You know what's actually a kind of a good card? I don't even know why I'm saying this, but there's an 0/3 for 1 green. It's a defender little plant, and whenever it has landfall, whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain a life. And in the Eldrazi deck, I'm just ramping out like crazy. That little 1/1, first of all, that little 1 mana 0/3 will stop a couple things for the first few turns.
It's the green Fleece Mane line.
Yeah, it is.
Green Nyx
Fleece Ram, yeah, exactly. It'll stop a couple attacks maybe in the beginning or whatever, or maybe like you're allowed to get like one big creature through, but you'll probably still have your like opening hand, 2/2s and 1/2s and whatever else. It'll be able to block a little bit, which is then gaining you life by blocking creatures, and then you're playing a land per turn, if not more than that one land. So that one little creature is able to gain you like 6-8 life, and then when you have 2 of them on the battlefield, you're getting that much more. It's like, it's allowing you to really stabilize to get to Eldrazi stuff. And I allegedly played against it, and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
like all this life,
where like the person goes for like 32 life, and you're like, I am so sick of this guy. Every time I do something, he just gains 4 fucking life.
It feels so bad at this removal, and that's
what's that one part's like, you get 40 life, you win the game or whatever?
Right, yeah. Exactly. Dude, it's like, seriously, it was like gaining so much fucking life is bothering the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So,
I think this standard, I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to do control deck.
Yeah.
Do a control. If control's viable.
Well, I'm taking your
Control
green,
is viable.
I'm taking your green monsters deck as
with
Eldrazi though. But.
With Awaken, control is completely viable. Absolutely.
No, definitely.
I'm kind of digging on the Awaken. So.
That's why Nice been yelling about the blue-white controller deck coming back forever now, and now I really think he's going to be correct finally after 3
You know what's fucked up too? The new counter spell has Awaken.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. That is fucked up. How dare that?
Beautiful thing.
Like that is, and the new board wipe has Awaken. Like, this is not fair. It's not fair. So it's insane. I'm sick of it,
Dude, I'm definitely making the green CD Unwritten Eldrazi ramp deck. It just sounds like it could be fun to me. I mean, that's going to be interesting to, after we get into a ramp from this, just the pre-release going, like just a titillating factor going into this set, like, I already wanted to make that a ramp deck for this Eldrazi situation, and then, I'm definitely doing that. Yeah. Check it out.
So the deck I built, it's not going to be a tier 1 deck. I already know. This is just like a first idea, and it'll be inexpensive for the most part, so like it's going to be fun to play. You can take out a couple of these cards, because some of them are expensive, but the rest of them aren't. So like, it's that green-black sacrifice deck I was mentioning as far as like what could be unlimited, but now this is like the full-blown, you can use whatever you want, constructed deck. So I'm basing it around that Smothering Abomination and those triggers I was talking about before, but now I can add in stuff like Bloodsoaked Champion.
Mm-hmm.
So Bloodsoaked Champion is that, 2/1 for 1 that can't block, it's from Khans, it has Raid. If you attack the creature this turn, you can pay 2, and then you can go ahead and bring it from the graveyard back to the battlefield. And so every turn, I'm able to sack it and bring it back, generally speaking, and draw cards off of Vampiric Rites or Smothering Abomination. And that's fucking amazing. So, like, I had a bunch of times where I had cards in my hand just, like, sitting there, but all I wanted to do was attack with Bloodsoaked Champion. Yeah, he gets chump blocked or whatever, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe I have a good removal spell to get rid of something. He gets in for 2, I sack him, I bring him back, I draw a card. My hand is just always stacked with this deck, I feel like. Another thing that goes along with this sacrifice is that Zulaport Cutthroat. Fucking amazing. To have it's a 2-mana 1/1, 2-mana 1/1, but whenever another creature dies that you control, opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. I had like 2 of these on the board, and I had Bloodsoaked Champion, and I would attack, and I would sack it, they would lose 2, I would gain 2, I'd play it again, I'd draw 2 cards, like all this shit was just like insane, Vampiric Rites still gains you a life, so that helps you out a little bit too. From Beyond is that 4-mana enchantment that
shits out a Scion every turn.
Beginning of your upkeep, you make a Scion token, and then
the Eldrazi Bitter Blossoms.
What's that?
Right?
Yeah, Bitter Blossom basically. And then you can pay 2 and sack it, and then search your library for an Eldrazi card, reveal it, put it in your hand. I don't do that, but I mean, I understand there could be a time where if I drew a second one of these, I would absolutely sack it, go ahead and get my Smothering Abomination or whatever, which is like some Eldrazi processor, he's just an Eldrazi. So I'd get him if I needed him or whatever. I have 1 Evolutionary Leap because at times this might be better than just a Vampiric Rites. Maybe just like getting a creature guaranteed instead of just drawing a card might be better. So I have 1 of just in case. But it's not that important, I don't think. I think the Vampiric Rites is a little better just through, just from drawing a card. I think sometimes you don't want a creature. Sometimes you're at a point, I need a removal spell, I need anything but a creature. Then you might want to do that instead, so. I have 2 Liliana Heretic Healers. Because of sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
It's lifelink 2/3, great, you just get life, just whatever, in the meantime. But whenever you sack a creature, a non-token creature, you exile this thing, you bring it back as a planeswalker, you get a 2/2 zombie, just good value,
I almost feel like like, I don't know, I haven't seen this deck play or the different numbers, but like the amount of times you're able to use your creatures and kill them off and sack them and things, like you could almost very easily play a 4 of her in this deck. And you very consistently have the Liliana Planeswalker.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I mean, maybe I haven't done it too much just because I want the engine to be online more than I want the.
And then you can minus bring another creature back to then sack again to draw more cards and
more things like that. It's exactly like that. Exactly.
So your hand is full while they're discarding their whole hand.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've got 6 cards. You have 0.
I get to dump like 3 or 4 cards, and then I get to use those 3 or 4 cards over and over again a lot of times. So you have that. Hangerback Walker, once again, it's $17 right now, so like, is it cheap? No, so don't play it if you don't want to, that's fine. But it's an obvious thing of why I'm playing it, because you're gonna be sacking it, and you're gonna be able to get around them targeting the removal, or exiling it, or whatever else that could happen to like, prevent them from getting the tokens out. So, you get to sack it, make tokens, and that's just fucking amazing. So you get to sack it, make tokens, draw a card, gain a life, whatever else, it's fucking fantastic. I have the blister pod in it, I have the carrier thrall, all the shit I was talking about before is in the deck, just to get more tokens, and, when I sack something, it doesn't just hurt it. So yeah, that Catacomb Sifter allows me to scry when a creature dies. So that's obviously really, really good. So I don't have anything like that's a really strong win condition. Like there's not like I bring out that one card and it's game over. But I do have, because I have the Cutthroats in here, I have that attrition of just like gaining life and losing life. And I've had it to a point where I had like, say like, 5 tokens out or whatever, and maybe like 2 of these. Well, I can go ahead and just sacrifice all my tokens, and then that means it's 10 life lost to them. Like just instant speed, like no matter what, I would like attack in and maybe get in with a couple things, and whatever wasn't going to get in, I would just board wipe myself and do the extra damage through that, through the Cutthroat. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. The Cutthroat's like a really, really good thing, for that like extra 8 points of damage or whatever. I'm able to just play something, sack it instant speed, and just ping him for 1. Or if I had 2, I'd ping him for 2. And I would just do that. That would be my top end. Whereas I'd hope to get him down to like around 10 life, and then from that point I'm able to not even worry about getting in. I would just play something, sack it, draw cards, play something, sack it. Everything is like really low costed in my deck. Everything's like 2 or 3 mana. So you're able to just keep playing stuff, keep sacking it, keep playing stuff, keep sacking it. Like just going like damn near infinite, as long as you got the mana. And then this will give you the extra reach. So yeah, it was really cool. Even like there's some times where they had a bigger board state, and I'm like, fine, I'm going to attack in. No matter if you block or don't block, I'm still gonna they're gonna die, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get that extra life loss, life gain trigger. So it was really good for this deck is super good against control. Against whatever control I was playing, no matter what cards they were playing with. The idea that I can bring stuff back, that the Bloodsoaked Champions are super good. The artifacts that I have that just keep putting a 1/1 every single turn. You can keep stacking stuff.
That effect is more cards. Just a fucking killer against control.
I have massive card advantage for control, and I'm totally okay with my shit dying through board wipes. So it was just really easy to beat control. And also aggro, because everything I'm okay with just dying anyways. When it dies, it just recurs to another 1/1 or whatever. Aggro was really easy to beat also. Mm-hmm. I get to gain a whole bunch of life when shit dies, gain 1 life when shit dies, so I was able to make a ton of trades, and my life total would just keep going from 10 to 18 over and over again. And at times, I had one game where I was down to 3, and they could have really easily, been able, they're at a point of oh man, they could totally win right now. They didn't draw a burn spell, and I was able to go ahead and go back up to 15 life. It was that way, so. It's really good against those 2 strategies. But the other shit that we're talking about, the more mid-rangey, Abzan aggro is even still kind of mid-rangey. It's not very aggro.
Yeah, they say aggro, but
it's not really, all in aggro.
It's just more pressure earlier than the Abzan mid-range.
So that's going to be tough. That's going to be super tough. That and the normal mid-range stuff. I'm sure a Mardu Dragon's List, which is mid-range, which is going to be really hard to beat, I bet. So that kind of stuff's going to be tough. But otherwise, this stuff, a lot of the decks I faced were really good matchups. So that's the deck I have that I'm going to build. If you were to take out the Hangerbacks and the Liliana, this deck would be somewhere around $60. So that's no big deal. But the mana base is nothing. I'm not playing any of the new things. You can, if you want to go crazy, you can go ahead and play fetch lands to get you the forests and the swamps. But they don't have any really good they don't have the, what was that one called that you said the
Verdant Catacombs.
Verdant Catacombs, they don't have that, so like I can't do that, you know what I mean? And I don't really want to play the slow land, even though I probably could play like 2 of them or something like that. But otherwise I'm just playing, all your basics along with 4 Lanimore Wastes. And I'm playing 2 spawning beds. It's colorless land, or colorless land. It's a land taps are colorless, and then you get to pay 6, sack it, and make 3 tokens, the Scion tokens. Is it good? I don't know. I've used it once and it was really good, but I feel like sometimes maybe you just want to have a colored mana, so maybe it's not good enough, but I'm trying to like sacrifice. This thing can essentially draw me 3 cards. So that sounds fun. That sounds fantastic. So a land that can draw you cards sounds really good. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Other thing, like standard, if you're going to be going probably control, blue-white control, and I know like Knife is going to be going Sultai control, generally speaking, not so control, but like, a lot of Eldrazi, whatever stuff. I was thinking I'd be going allies, but I'm not sure yet, because I'm not really sure like what,
what's up?
I don't know, I want to see some builds. I want to see if there's anything worthwhile. And then you were thinking what?
Between the Zada tokens and the Eldrazi ramp.
So probably Zada for now. I'd probably be your first deck. It's probably the cheapest of the bunch.
Yeah, I already have all the CNN written and things like that. I already, I Animus Awakening, so I want to do like the Eldrazi ramp landfall situation so I'm already have most of those cards other than like the Ulamog payoffs, which I now have one of in there.
You see the unwritten.
Ouch, dude. We'll see how that goes.
I bought a playset of Desolation Twin. I don't know if that's actually going to go in there.
I don't think so, but either way, I
agree. But it's still something that can get picked up from fucking See the Unwritten and things like that. So I don't know the deck yet.
It can't because it's
I know you only get the 1-10-10. I understand that, but I don't know what the deck is entirely yet. But I already have the shell.
Yeah,
so to finish it off wouldn't be that much.
Maybe you got that then. So yeah, I'm hoping allies or something like that. How about this? Well, they already got an idea, and their ideas totally make sense. I feel like that's where things are going. I will have to be more like the fringe player. I think I'll have to just figure out like what else is left to play, and I'll play that basically. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know anything else, guys. We weren't very funny this cast, so
it's a lot of information to get out.
This is an informational cast. We're sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But it's low energy right now. It's the morning time, and what are you going to do? So,
2 quick things before we finish this off I want to talk about. One is very simple. The December F&M promo is Anticipate. New artwork for it, new F&M promo, you know how that goes.
Pretty dope.
In case you didn't know, there's information. The other thing I want to discuss is, Magic all of a sudden right now, I hope they keep it going, is being very good with their pre-con decks and things they put out as far as money goes. Like we just had the Clash Pack, whatever deal was, where it's the Abzan colors, and we got like the fucking we got the Eclectic Company in there, the Windswept Heath, and it was just value money.
Yeah, with
Dramoka's Command. Like it was just like wow, like they actually that was supposed to be MSRP of like 25. And it quickly shot up, shops were selling for like 35, 40 when it got down to it because the money was in there. Already it's like a $40 box that you're, getting for the $25. Like the money was there. Now, the new event deck they're putting out, again right now, that has fucking Hangerback Walker, Whisperwood Elemental, Tassiger, another fucking, good rare for money wise. So essentially that's $25 MSRP and there's $36 worth of value in it. That's fucking cool. People are saying Hangerbacks will go down a little more. How many people are really buying event decks? You guarantee your Hangerback Walker there, but...
I agree. I don't think event decks are their main sales.
The value's there, so more of these event decks will sell. So might see some prices go down a little bit, but not enough that you're going, now my Hangerback Walker isn't valuable anymore because it's an event deck. No, it's just fucking, all of a sudden, instead of getting cheap, nothing, if it's selling for $25, there's $10 with the cards in there, maybe. All of a sudden, there's more value in it. I hope they continue with that.
This is a trading card game. People are looking, they want to open booster packs. People are not interested in buying pre-built shit. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So that's why to put money in it makes them sell more, which is smart for their part, but also sweet for the people to go. Because that's how I finished on my place that I quit the company, was buying that Zan Clash Pack deal. And then Windswept Heath on top of it, and the Dramoka's Command is now I have my 4th quit the company, and I bought that because I know I'm getting that, plus the other value there. And I bought it at the 25 or 30 before it shot up to other shops on for 40 and this and that, so I got my value out of it. I think it's just awesome that suddenly they're doing that. I hope it continues, because right now it's fuck yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm. You said one other thing, what'd you say?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
And that's definitely
You don't
anticipate.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Beautiful things.
Cool. Well, episode 54 is in the books, I think. And,
I have to shit my pants, so.
Yeah.
We missed you, Knife!
Yeah, I know, huh? Could have been funnier.
Don't cut yourself while you listen to this cast.
He's not even going to listen to this cast.
He has to edit it. So.
No, he won't. We didn't have any bloopers.
No, this is a perfect cast, actually.
Perfect cast.
No, that's true.
You know, you could just be like, hey,
cut and dry, bam.
Yeah.
Size it.
We could. I mean, I tell him that basically because nothing happened.
Because he's already been so sick, he hasn't been able to edit the last one, so that one's not out. So instead of this one taking like that much week longer, we could just say, yeah, don't edit, just
exactly.
It's good to go.
Can you believe that? Unedited cast. How boring we are.
Well, that's what happens. Nice.
Sad to admit it.
And when it's early morning, I'm not drinking, and there's not two loudmouth guys going with it.
I'm not drinking either, and that's the sad part too, because normally I get a little slurry at the end.
Yeah.
And,
by the end of the cast.
I'm more loud because I'm drinking. So
what are you going to do?
It was solid. I give it a solid.
I give us a round of applause right here.
3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 solid.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. I have been Hot Sauce.
This is Ryke.
Samhain Crow and Hot Sauce. We'll catch you guys later.
yeah.
In my shoes, my toes are busted. My kitchen says my bread is molded. I got a good job at the dollar store. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper with a broken mirror and a blown out speaker. And I ain't got much else to lose. I'm faded, flat busted, been jaded, I've been dusted. I know that I've seen better days. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper. Crank it to 11, blow another speaker, and I ain't got much to lose. 'Cause I've seen better days. I've been star of minute plays. I've seen better days. And the bottom drops out. I've seen better days. I've been star of minute plays. I've seen better days. And the bottom drops out. Now my cup's filled up with $5 wine. I find myself here all the time. Another rip in the glass, another chip in my tooth. Rain don't, I've been stained on from another coat I tried to put the blame on. And now I'm stepping on all the cracks, so I guess there ain't no use. 'Cause I've seen better days. I've been star of minute plays. I've seen better days. And the bottom drops out. I've seen better days. I've been star of minute plays. I've seen better days. And the bottom drops out.
You like my Gucci bag?
That's beautiful, beautiful. Check it out. I'm bent like glass, secondhand like glory. Missed the bus, but I'm in no hurry. Molasses fast.